Thank you so much for keeping it Citizen Television. We really appreciate your time and company. And of course, we are going to be talking about something interesting. The social hour begins right now. We are so glad that you're here with us. Today, it's all about love, but love from a distance, yeah? Have you ever caught yourself in a long-distance relationship? You have this special somebody who you really feel something for, and you have something going. It could be a relationship, it could even be marriage, but then ako mbali sana. Physically, you guys are not together, but you're together in love, together in spirit, together in all the other ways. Kuna kuanga na challenges. People who've experienced that are telling us, kuna wale wanasema long distance relationships is a no-no. If you're out of sight, out of mind. Kuna watu wanasema they actually thrive. Wengine wana prefer hata ingekuwa long distance forever for permanent. Sijui uko wapi. But that's what we want to talk about. And I have a panel of four with me. Of course, it's a panel that is not new to you. I'll start with the only gentleman on the panel.
Only one.
Ken Munywa, thank you so much for creating time.
Asante sana.
He's a psychologist, a HR expert, and shukitaka kazi wadi.
Wewe.
Watu wata-line up.
Wata-line up.
And then we have the lovely Roberta Bobby.
Hello.
Long distance ni yako kweli Bobby?
We will see. We will find out in a bit. Ken last week aliniambia nisimuite Buddha.
Akiwalai.
Any boy.
Lakini mimi ni mbabas. Nimekubali. Nimefika hiyo stage.
Ina depend ni side. Financially ukitwa mbaba, that's a compliment.
Nasema kwa miaka.
She is watching. She is watching.
Kitty, how are you?
Good morning, guys.
Good morning.
Of course, big up Mr. Josh. Anakuanga ametungoja every Tuesday. Big up my dad, Mr. Josh. But good to see you guys. Always a pleasure. Lakini we can make
which is a good thing.
Guys, we're in March.
It's
not even
it's
a joke.
Good thing.
Yeah,
it's a good thing.
It's a good thing.
Yeah. You know, it means we are really utilizing the days. Okay, so guys, Leo, I'm excited about this one. Love from a distance. Watu wengine wanasema Ken, wacha nikuanzie mapenzi. Wacha nianzie Ken. Mapenzi ni hapa.
Ni hapa
duniani.
Mimi for avoidance of doubt.
Hiyo story ya mbali ati uko sijui nje ya nchi, sijui uko sijui which county.
No, county sina shida.
Can you love from a distance?
For avoidance of doubt. I am a Scorpio. Yeah? And I'm not just a Scorpio by horoscope. I'm a Scorpio by practice also. I believe that love is very hard to grow and to groom. So you can imagine love at a distance. It becomes very hard. I believe if love is new, you cannot groom it and grow it when you are far away from the person you're loving. Because you need to cultivate, you need to water the love. And so it becomes harder, especially when you have to put a show. I believe long-distance relationships sometimes are more of a show as opposed to the reality. I am entitled to my own opinion.
I'm going to save relationships out there.
The reason is you need to understand yourself more. As a Scorpio, and I will use my example before I become now the professional, I believe in the physical touch. I believe in the physical presence. I believe in spending quality time together. So to me, love on the phone is more cosmetic as opposed to reality. However, as you grow in love, with ages and responsibilities coming in, and your roots are so strong together, then we can now discuss how far can we be and how often can we meet, but not at the initial stages when we are learning to love each other.
Ken anapenda tu vitu loko. Ati akwe tu hapo.
Sijasema naweza tu date loko, nasema vitu lazima zikue hapa.
Ama sijamuelewa Roberta. Loving from a distance. Hizo vitu zote amesema mimi na feel you can still do them in a long distance relationship.
Yeah.
Physical touch, quality time. I mean, kuna
physical touch, long distance.
Ni vile tu hizo ni asubuhi, lakini by the way, you can actually plan yourself and organize yourself. It's not like you have like the entire year you are away, the entire year this person is away. If you know that you're in a long distance relationship, can't say me wrong. If you're in a long distance relationship,
it could be even wrong.
wrong and long.
You're supposed to plan.
Yeah.
Najua mtakutana lini, we will spend quality time when. That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know. Roberta, what do you think?
Actually, before I give my opinion, I'd love to listen to what Cutie has to say. Because I feel like...
This on me, siendi huko.
I feel,
By the way, usiende sana huko upande huo usiwegemee.
Chezeni chini.
I feel like...
Ndio bana, tukue wazuri kidogo.
Okay, let me say, but I would have loved to hear Cutie because I feel like she will counter what Ken will say.
Yeah, true.
But not to be the middleman or anything, but let me just say my honest opinion. I feel like anything you put your effort and time into is very possible, very achievable. Doesn't really, hizi vitu zingine zote ni hindrances, na hindrances ni part of life. It's like when you say, I want a multi-million business in 5 years. Uta go through vitu, kanjo atakunyima license, sijui nani wamfanyie nini, mamako ache kuongelesha, chali yako akudump. But haimaanishi the end goal cannot be achieved. And I say this because I feel like we put romantic relationships on a pedestal, but we fail to judge it the same way we judge platonic relationships or familial relationships.
Yeah.
If your mom went to live in Europe, does that mean it will affect your relationship or the friendship you have? But that's a different kind of relationship, but it's still a relationship, which means you still have to put in effort to see each other, to talk to each other, to be there for each other. It doesn't really feel like now hata mimi siishi kwa wazazi, lakini hiyo communication, meeting, sometimes ni ngumu kushinda ukienda home, but I put it kwa my list of priorities, and I know it's different. Tuseme kama mtu ako Europe, siwezi compare Moshadha na hapa Ngong Road, hiyo ni different. But I feel, okay, in conclusion, in summary, to summarize what I'm saying, I feel like it can work for people who want to. It depends with the intention, it depends with the effort they're putting into the relationship, the decisions they've made for each other, but it's definitely not for everyone else. And venye Ken amesema, kujijua, part of kujijua ndo itasaidia sana kumake decision. Kama unajua wewe una need physical touch daily na iyo quality time daily, hizo ni love languages zako primary, and you cannot compromise, then you do not require to compromise. Si must. Achana na huo demu wako wa Malaysia. Tafuta demu hapa wa Nyeri, mwanze tu life vizuri.
Badala wa Dubai.
Mwanze tu life vizuri, it's still okay.
Yeah.
But if you can really put in the effort, because it doesn't absolve you from the needs of a real relationship, of a relationship where your presence is still there. You're still required to be communicative, to be available, to show up, to be a person who's in a relationship. So I think kama unajijua na hizi mambo yako, usijaribu kujidanganya, achana kunayo. Lakini kama ni yako, why not? Why not? Some people prefer the space, they love the distance, they love the excuse to run to Europe a bit and come back, you know, so it's nice.
Without mentioning names.
There are people who actually prefer that the relationship was permanently long distance. But kuna
mtu wako ngorota sana. Naosha akae huko mbali.
Aya, Cutie tuambie. At least ametupatia hope that if you want it to work, it can actually work. You know?
Mzee cosmetic, mimi niko hapo kwa cosmetic.
Show na drama.
Tuko madrama na mashow. But honestly, long distance, unajua, in everything that you do in this life, you have to be intentional about it, and you always have to look at the pros and the cons. Whether it's love, whether it's business, whether it's your career, you have to list down. Me, I keep on saying, list down the pros and the cons. I mean, if the pros are many, why not? But if the cons overcome the pros, then you need to leave that, whatever it is that you're doing. So let me just start by saying that long distance love is expensive. And by expensive, I don't really mean financial. I mean emotionally, spiritually, physically. Maze, like, you need to be there. You need to be present. Na vile Bobby amesema, if you know you're not ready for that, maze, this needs emotional intelligence. Hii lazima ukae chini, you think about it, prepare yourself emotionally. Yani tu lazima tu ukijua utawezana emotionally, utawezana physically, utawezana mentally. Sometimes it takes a toll on you because most of the time you're misunderstood. Inaweza kuwa tu miscommunication, umesema kitu, but because mtu haja kuona for a very long time, anaweza shikanisha vitu zenye anataka kushikanisha, you understand? So it means you really have to be present, you need to be there, and you need to invest. Unaona venye unakelanga do, unasema hii ni biashara. Hii biashara nataka kuwekelea 50,000 na una decide whether itakuwa ama haitakuwa. So pia long distance lazima uwekele. Unasema tu hii nayo yenyewe naenda nayo. And sometimes I say that long distance actually ni better kuliko relationship yenye iko hapa, because sometimes unaweza kuwa na msee hapa, unaweza kuwa na mtu hapa na muongeangi kwa hiyo nyumba hata ikaliki. You're actually in a long distance relationship when you're in the house with someone. Mko in a long distance na mnaishi na mtu. Yani uko na msee lakini haumfeel. Una get like set you feel at umpendi, haumfeel like they are never there. They are always working, they are always away. Akiwa kwa nyumba kwa simu tu, like una feel kuna hiyo disconnection. Na ule msee mwenye ako mbali, you actually feel connected because you're intentional about time. Lazima nijue, okay, muamka kwenda gym. But pia yeye lazima nimpange. Unaelewa? Lazima nijue, okay, sawa nitaenda gym na nitaenda job, but in between hapo lazima ni create time. So the reason why maybe unaamka hiyo time lazima upange, okay, nikishamalizana na gym ndaka 1 hour kwa gari niongee na umse. That's being intentional about everything that you're doing. So that's why nasema lazima uangalie pros na lazima uangalie cons. Na ukijua maze kama hauko ready, wacha nayo, because you actually end up doing so many things. It's a lot of work and you need to put in the work. So kama unajua uko ready ku put in the work, imagine let it go. Usitese huo mtu, wachana na kabisa kama unajua hauko ready. But if you're ready,
if loving someone who is here is
it's
work.
A problem.
Yes.
Work.
Yes, can you imagine?
Can you imagine distance now?
Sembuse.
Distance ndio best. Wacha nikwambie, distance ndio best mtu wangu. Hii hamtashinda hapa mkisumbuana na msee.
Kama wewe ni msumbufu.
Mmekasirikiana, sijui nini cheki. Kwanza ndio unamhata the most. You're looking forward to meeting that person. Actually, the planning of going to see that person or them coming to you, it's actually beautiful. For me, if you ask me, kwanza naweza sema tu watu wangekuaga tu wanakaa long distance.
You know what she's talking about ni very important to understand. It's actually very true. Distance makes the heart grow fonder. You get fond of that person.
For Scorpios.
Even for Scorpios. I have said it is at the initial stages that I have a problem with people not being together. Ati mumejuana, 2 weeks later, alafu muna kiss kwa airport because he's flying out for the next 2 years, and you're making promises, oh, I'll be faithful, I'll wait for you.
It can happen, Ken.
Let me tell you, the problem we are having, we are having a generation that is fearing commitment. A generation that has so many options. It's no longer A to D, the way we used to have it in the examinations. It's A to beta. Mpaka alpha na beta were part of the alphabet today. That if people who are together are desiring to cheat on each other, yet they are there, you can imagine the people who are far away. And you listen, let me talk of the Kenyans context before we get to the global. You listen to the Kenyans wenye wameenda kuhaso huko nje. Anasema na nikatengeneza pesa, alafu nikuwe nikituma home, but mtu wangu anaspend na mtu wake. You know, such things...
But can I see it? I look at it differently. Cheating is not even part of this whole equation.
It's not. It's
because
not.
Even the same way you'd put in work in a relationship where mko pamoja ndio muavoid hizo stories of cheating and faithfulness and all that, there is something, deliberate effort that both of you have to put in place to ensure mko free from hizo vitu. The same thing you can apply in a long distance relationship. Wezi tu iachilia ati.
I think tunaenda poa sana. Tunaenda poa sana, and you're trying to sway me away from my line of thought. My line of thought is simple.
Kitu amesema double work.
Correct. Maturity. Can we discuss about the issue of the mature relationships that can work? Because not all relationships, even the ones that people are closer, even people who spend time together, you might find people who are immature that you dread going home. You've heard of situations where they even say some married men spend more time in the car after getting to the home before they get into the house. Why? Because akozile is a guy. Okay, nimefika. Nipeta tu amelala. Ama people who do not look forward to go to the house, because they have nothing in common. They don't love each other's company. They are there because of convenience. They are there because of titles. Take for instance, kama mimi ni kiongozi wa kanisa. So sitaki watu waseme kiongozi wa kanisa alienda na akaachana na mke wake. So are we there together for the cosmetic issue? Why are we there together? Because as a psychologist, my marriage should work. So out there, it's PDA. But in there, it's hell made in Kenya. Yeah? So what is the problem? The problem is not the people in the relationship, whether it is long or short. It is about what is happening in the relationship that makes it. Do you know kuna watu wanaweza kuwa pamoja, but they are so distant to each other. You know how you know? Do you know how you know people in a long distance relationship when they are together? It's the volume. People who are in a good relationship, even how they talk to each other, they talk to each other in a language that is loving, in a language that is soothing, in a language that the walls cannot hear. But when you hear the society saying walls have ears, is because of what you're talking to each other. You're shouting at each other because you're so distant from each other. The hearts are so apart that even the communication itself is so apart. I have to assume she's not here. She's very far, so I'm shouting at her because the long distance has already occurred.
Mr. Wala kusema na urudi tu hapa asubuhi bila kitu ndio utaona. That's a long distance relationship. Roberta, there's if you compare and contrast, what do these two relationships have in common? The one that you have your partner close by, unaweza reach anytime you want physically, and the one that person is far. What are the fundamental, values and principles that should stand for both, regardless of whether mko karibu ama mko mbali?
Something I learned earlier on this show is the only way a relationship can work is if you want it. Hata tutoe stories zote, watu sema pesa, sijui chores, sijui nini, tutoe everything else external. The only way any relationship, whether it's a teacher-student relationship, parent-child relationship, grandparents relationship, you and your cousin, you and the shop, the lady who sells at the shop out there, you and Timo over here, the only way your relationship can work, for you to have a nice relationship, nambia Timo nieke mic, Timo mic, ama camera ikai side iangalie hivi, this is my good side. The only way you can maintain such a relationship is by wanting. Because you could as easily walk in here and never speak to Timo, ever. You'd never tell him you like the mic this side, you like the camera facing this side. So the thing that I find synonymous in all these relationships, any sort of relationship, is the intentionality, the deliberate action towards wanting each other. It eliminates everything else. Because even if you reach a hurdle, you say, hatuna pesa, siwezi enda kumtembelea Maju. But do you want each other? Like, do you want the relationship to continue? Do you want to be with each other? Then now it overcomes everything, because utajipata, umepata hata job ingine ndo uweze kupata pesa ya kusave uende umuone. So it's just about intentionality. When you want something, you make it work. And as I finish my point, the thing about relationships, other than you guys being deliberate and wanting it and putting in the intentional effort of being with each other, is that you have to show up. I'd like for people to enter relationships without the thought of doom being the prerequisite. Stop entering relationships thinking, what if we divorce? What if we leave each other? What if I'm done? What if he cheats? What if the person who lives next to you can cheat on you? The business that you're starting today can crumble next week. Literally, anything can go, anything can happen. You should just know that instead of you thinking about it as failure, understand that it's a lesson. So stop going into relationships or anything that you're doing for that matter with the sense of doom. It's like you're expecting failure, like, oh my God, long distance relationships, he'll cheat on me. Okay, anyone can cheat on you, even the person who lives in the same house with you. If the question is, where do you leave it to? And be very honest with yourself. Do I want this? Can this work? Full stop. Hakuna hata swali lingine, because you will overcome everything else. Ati sijui nini, you'll find a solution. And I love giving example ya cutie ya gym. Unajua ukianza gym unaanzanga kwa keja. Maybe atatuambia alianzaje. Unaanzanga kwa keja bila kitu yoyote. Unanga membership fee, unanga trainer. Unakonga maybe kienda sana kama unaweza afford YouTube. Wi-Fi unaweza eka YouTube. But hivyo ndo inaanzanga kwa keja, kwa carpet, kwa sitting room ama kwa bedroom. Then unaanza ku-meet. Maybe you start running, you meet other people, they introduce you to a gym, you go and start a gym. Now, say cutie amefika patana bayadi ma collagen. Atujui collagen ni nini, but I'm sure pia yeye akianza hakukuwa anajua ni nini.
True.
Why?
It's because
intentional effort. It's something she wants. It's something she thinks about. Maybe she doesn't know what she'll need in 5 years. Maybe in 5 years she'll have a gym in her house. We don't know. But imagine if she said 2 years ago, 3 years ago, I don't, that's not something I want. We wouldn't be discussing these collagen things here because it would not be a story. So enter relationships, businesses, contracts, friendships, work relationships, whatever that it is that you're putting in effort into, even just simple things as your diet, the things you eat, the places you go, the things you talk about. It has to be very intentional so that you're showing up, because the results are always, you'll see a relationship where people are putting effort. We're always laughing here, laughing at, in quotes, QT. She's always on her phone with, I don't know if it's appropriate to give this example. I think you can
Busting the bubble.
I'm sorry.
Ulikuwa umetuona.
But you see the effort, you see the intention, you see this person, nataka ujue mseni nani unaona ile effort anaput, even if you're watching from outside. And that's the intention I'm talking about, the deliberation. You should never at one point in your relationship, whether it's with your mother, your lover, your brother, your sister, tell yourself or ask yourself, do they really want me? Why? Because that wanting you is constant. Me hata sasa upigie mamangu muulize, Mama Roberta, do you want your daughter? She will say yes at 3 a.m., at 4 a.m., at 6 a.m. Because the effort.
She doesn't have an option.
Because no, friendship and relationships is effort. Not everyone is friends with their mother. Not everyone is friends with their relatives. Not everyone talks to their dad. So even a relationship with my mom, it's intentional. I have to call her. I have to text her. I have to she sends me a M-Pesa. Easy on the relationship, you know, the romance, the deliberation, the effort. It is intentional.
All right, all right. The reason I asked you to compare both because sasa nataka tufungue hii long distance relationship. Let's look at the good side. We look at the good side and the bad side. Yeah, sasa sijui nianzie.
Anzia tu hapa please.
Huyu anafungua from the heart. This one is a real life. In a real life example.
Hata ndo nilikuwa nataka. Acha tufungue sava.
Mbona watu usema hii relationship haiwork? Like you can never go far in a long distance relationship. Why do people think like that?
As I said, it's very expensive. Na sikumaanisha okay, pia financial liko, but I don't want people to like think you need to have money for you to be in a long distance relationship. Nimesema emotionally, yeah, you do. At the end of the day, you do.
Na shida umesema una fair. Meanwhile,
kama fair and do the hauna.
Okay.
Ukimdai akuja anakuambia sina fair.
Imagine hata mtu mwenye mko naye in the same town. Anaweza kosa hiyo do ya nduthi ya wangu. But niko nasema emotionally. Manze lazima emotionally it drains you. Mentally. Cause ukumbuke ukiwa in a long distance relationship with someone. Kwanza masaa zenyu haziendanishi. Kuna watu wako 8 hours apart. Hebu niambie 8 hours. By the time uone kulala ndio yeye anaamka. So how is that supposed to work? So that's why I'm saying it needs to be very intentional. Ni ulale ukijua ule mse anafaa kuamka time fulani. So ni ulale off peak zako. Ulale time yenye ufai kulala. So that by the time anaamka you need to be there to actually talk to them. So ati by the time anaamka unaanza kumwambia by the way mimi nimechoka nimetoka job mimi na need kulala na yeye ana need ni atafanya nini, you understand? So also zile hata niseme the downsides, also insecurities zinakuanga mob sana because at the end of the day unajiuliza what is this person doing, where are they, anafanya nini, akona nani. And let me tell you, it's normal if you don't feel that, then aupendi huo mse and you're not even, you should be able to feel such things
okay
in a, it's okay. Let me tell you something, it's okay because hakuna kitu kama insecurity, because you need to assure this person because there's a reason why they're feeling that. But if you're always telling them, by the time amke amepata messages zako, by the way niko job, nishaingia ka meeting fulani sitaweza kuchukua simu, tuko hapa na Bobby, niko training, niko nini, you understand? If you're already telling this person all these things, itafika mahali utakuwa umemweka ile comfort zone ya anajua mtu wangu hata si need kumuuliza ako wapi, anafanya nini, ashaniambia. But imagine wewe tu umeamka umeingia training, hata hujamwambia good morning, hata hujamwambia uko training, anakupigia miss calls kama 20, uko tu hapo umekaa. You understand such kind of things. That's why I'm saying you need to be very intentional. You need to tell your person, niko place fulani, nafanya kitu fulani. Unajua utafika mahali hata atakuwa sasa worried. But imagine tumeenda, ni birthday yangu, akina Bobby wamekuja wamenichukua wamenipeleka mahali wamenipeleka. Tuko tu huko simu iko kwa handbag. I'm not even feeling my phone. I'm not even feeling. Anapiga. But akiingia social media anaona stories zangu za IG huko, anaona nimetesa, nimefanya nini. Do you understand what you're putting that person through? So kuna vitu kama hizo. Lazima uko assurity. You need to assure this person each and every time unamwambia, hey, by the way, babe, mimi nakupenda, mimi nakufeel, mimi nakumiss. But if you don't do that, then you're putting them in a very bad position. That's why we are saying you need to be very intentional about this long distance. Also, hata tuweki stories za cheating, but for example, unaweza kuwa na msee hapa ata cheat. You live with a person in the same house. They're cheating on you actually more than the person mwenye ako long distance. So vitu kama hizo, you need to keep on assuring this person umwambie, hey, by the way, leo utakuwa vitu fulani. Yani, you need to keep on telling them about your plans. Ni very important kuambia mtu about plans. Juu, enye it's normal. Safin, hata wewe saizi, tuseme for example tu, naweza kuwa niko hapa, nafikiria tu venye maybe mtu wangu, anaweza kuwa ametoka job lunchtime na amedecide ameenda kwenye ameenda kufanya. You know, this is, we know what really happens. You understand? So, hizi vitu, si ati watu wenye wako long distance ndio huwa wanazifeel peke yake. Hizo mambo za cheating, hizo mambo za kufeel kama mtu akupendi, the insecurity, uncertainties in a relationship.
A bit strong.
So uncertainty iko both in long distance and even relationship enye mko the same county, mko the same even town with someone, the same house with someone. So hizo uncertainties zinakuanga in all kinds of relationships. So it's actually upon you to actually tell someone. Na vile Bobby amesema, friendships, you have to create even those friendships with someone.
Like, I'm just curious. Kuna ile moment inafikanga tu nataka tu ukwe na mtu wako. You're in a crisis. Yani tu vitu to happen to somewhere. You really need that person that time there then. How do you deal with that? Because hapo ndio mtu jikuta amejiuliza, is it even worth it? Kama haezi show up time kama saa hivi na muhitaji, is this even worth it?
I'm telling you, Safin, these people show up in ways even better than that crisis moment. Because, okay, unaweza kuwa na breakdown. And even a normal person breaks down. Nita break down at that particular moment. Of course, nam need. But probably, ako shift enye hezi shika simu. Maybe kwenye ako ashikangi simu. Ama ako amekuwa dead night. Ile dead in the night amekuwa shift. Anataka tu kurest. Lazima ni mwachia rest. Siwezi anza pia kumpigia masimu. Hey, Buddha, you're not there for me. Hey, sasa utawai kuwa hapa. Cheki. When that person wakes up, they're going to be there for you in ways that you will not even question. Imagine uta break down to your moment. We all need that moment enye unakuanga, utakaa tu chini. Sometimes you need the silence, Safin. Una understand? Ate hiyo long distance, hiyo silence. Mtu wako anaweza kuwa hapo, mtu kwa video call, but you're not even talking to each other. Ako hapo, uko hapo. Yes, ako hapo, uko hapo.
You're just
wacha nikwambie, Safin. Acha nikwambie, quality time, my friend. Sometimes you don't even need, sometimes utaki hiyo kelele, Safin. Hata utaki hiyo kelele ati unamwambia tu cheki, I just need you to be there. Unaona ile temenya ati mtu amekuhold hapo, unamwambia mzee, I need you to hug me. Na muongee. Sasa hii
so una hug bundles.
Video hapo mtu wangu, I just need you to be there. Kuwa tu hapo, anaku video call tu ako tu hapo. Hata unaweza kuwa umelala na ametulia tu anafanya mambo zake. Hiyo ndio inaitwa quality time. Hii mambo ya ati sijui lazima mtu akwe hapo. Mtu anaweza kuwa kwa hao na amekuvuruga, Safin. Someone is stressing you, you're in the house, they can't even hold you. They're just shouting at you and you don't even need that shouting. You don't even need that talking. Sometimes ukiingia kwa nyumba na mtu wako ako pale, unanitua kae pale sito, uko hapo sito, mmetulia tu, Safin. You don't even need them to talk or say anything. Ndio nakwambia, it's not really about long distance. Even sometimes when you're in the house, maze unasikia nikaa msi hapa anakupigia makelele kwa masikio. You understand? Like they're just making noise and you're like, so you just please keep quiet. Like I just need my peace and quiet. That's why unasikia Ken akisema unakaa kwa gari. Kwa nini? Because una need your peace and quiet. Mbona usiende kwa hau, ukwe na hiyo peace and quiet. Mtu wako ako hapo but ametulia na anajua. My person doesn't need noise. There are people when they wake up in the morning, they don't need you to shout or to even talk. Unajua mtu wangu akiamka ananidigi tu, unatipito, unaenda unafanya mambo yako, ametulia. You understand such kind of things. So, unasema hiyo moment ya ku break down just to answer that. Ni ile ya anaweza kuwa yuko hapo. But ile time yenye ata show up, my friend, you won't even remember that you even broke down when they were not there. It's really worth it, Safin. When you love someone, ukipenda mse, ni ngumu. Si ati ni rahisi.
Ati video call. Ati video call mtu anyamaze tu na mko kwa video.
Ni gani shay kwa rahisi? But Safin, nini shay kwa rahisi kwa hii life? But Safin, what has ever been easy in this life? Hakuna rahisi. Zote ni hard na zote lazima utafute and you need to work for them.
Can I just add on that?
You know, aje kwa simu.
Utaholdiwa aje na bundles.
Crying emojis.
All the questions you're asking, QT, have had me thinking about how I navigate relationships as a single person. And the question is valid because my answer has come up as somebody who doesn't have like a partner. Even
Are you
before,
declaring your singleness?
Even before, I do that every week, yeah. Trying to find looking for my car. So the thing is, these questions are valid, but you have to think about a human being who's complete in themselves. QT's answers are coming from love, from hope, from good intentions and good feelings and a stable, healthy relationship.
And that point of grace and understanding the circumstance of that other person.
And that's the point I need everyone to come from. Stop coming from, what if he cheats on you? What if he's... If you think like that, the relationship will be over before we get by kwa airport. It's for 2 weeks. And something I wanted to encourage people to do because of the questions you've asked, QT, is ensure that you're complete as a person. I know I say this all the time, but your question is, kwani single people who handle aje waki breakdown? Kwani watu wenye hawana lovers? Kwani sisi ufanya nini tukikuwa na crisis?
At least unajua hauna mtu.
Skizeni, inamaanisha I have systems in place that help me get over everything I'm going through. Meaning, myself, I'm confident, I'm working on myself to be able to go through life. I have friends, I have family, I have a mother, I have parents, I have Kina Ken and Kina QT and Kina Safin and CJ. Kwanza CJ bears the brunt a lot. I call him anytime I'm on a crisis. So it's not just about you having a lover. You have to understand that you as a person, you're supposed to be complete with these systems in place for yourself. Because sometimes your lover is unable to come through for you. What if you're married? What if you're married and your husband is going through depression? What if you lose your job? Whether you're single or you have a lover, these are human processes that we all have to go through. So while you're thinking, how do I break down, you know, when I have a lover and I miss... I'm telling you, even as single people, we miss those feelings of being held and comforted and, you know, someone telling you, I love you. And that's why we work on our friendships. And even within a relationship, this is not supposed to be different. Just because you have a wife and a husband doesn't mean like you absolve yourself of all these other relationships that could hold you up or lift you up. Like, Ken is in the Christian Men's Association, Catholic Men's Association.
Catholic Men's Association.
Those guys, they really show up. If something happens to your house, maybe you can vouch for me. If something happens in your house, they show up, all of them, with support, financial, prayers, nini. So make sure unajieka kwa communities, not just, this doesn't just apply to single people or people in relationships. This is a human thing. Usiji-isolate, make sure kuna systems in place that help you deal with things. I just thought about it when you're asking QT because I thought, okay, even single people still survive. Like, she's even better. She has someone who calls her. And I haven't.
But you can call on God.
Kitu amesema hapo sijui kama ulisikia. I don't know whether you had. Kuna quality time kwa long distance.
Yes.
Mse anaweza call, uhag tu simu na
bundles. But I like how QT has put it. And this is where now it comes at an agreement. You know, a relationship is a contract. How have we contracted to move this relationship forward? One, we have contracted that trust will be the undertone. Because what kills most relationships is when trust is not there. Secondly, we have also contracted that I will allow you to have your life, irrespective of how far you are from me, but can you put boundaries with the people who are going to surround you so that they know I might not be with her, I might not be with him, but I am taken. And I am not taken for granted, such that I will also take her for granted. I am taken in a serious manner, and I also need to take him or her in a serious manner. Because if you do not maintain those boundaries, the third person that you introduce in a relationship, just imagine two people. Here I am, QT, who is my partner, far away. I start introducing a second person. She introduces a second person. That's a relationship of 4. How sure are we that the one that I have introduced has no other person? We start overcrowding. So it's very good to keep the boundaries as much as possible. Number 3, communication. The frequency of communication really matters. She's talked about timings. Sometimes I like looking at how maybe I work. I work for a multinational. I have a supervisor who sits in Brazil. I have to know her timings. I have a supervisor who sits in Mexico. I have to know his timing. And our overall supervisor sits in Minnesota. I also have to know their timing. And at the back of my mind, I am almost very sure when I have to do a session with the one in Brazil, this is the time. Can we now agree?
So it's working for your professional space?
It works. Sijasema haita work. It can actually work with a lot of intention and a lot of work.
Agreed.
And another thing, and QT has talked about it, is the expense that comes with it. That you also have to know, you need to avoid the pitfalls. What are the pitfalls? Sometimes you cannot just go out with people because you are not very sure what will happen in that party. How many parties have we had people who've been spiked their drinks? How many house parties go south? The intention that you had there. How many people do you even need to avoid? You know what kills also some long distance relationships are the family members in the other partner's side. That now I am far away and my aunties and uncles and cousins are keeping an eye on Shiro like the DCI. Ni mahawk. Hata mwingine karibu atap simu. Hey, wacha nikuambie. Have you seen the update she's making? Oh, have you seen the dress she was wearing?
Kukupigia simu. Ati nilikuwa tu nimekuja kukusalimia.
Nilikuwa tu nimekuja. Alafu akae.
Ndio akupate.
Akae aseme hey huku hata watoto wako hawakulangi before 6. Anawapikia younger 7. They don't even know what was happening. So those relars, by the way, those relars are also people that we need to keep a close eye on, because sometimes they can tell you bad things about your partner, and everybody to err is human. Yeah, there is a moment that will find me in a club and dancing, and along the dancing unasikia DJ akisema angalia mwenzako mwambie. It was not my intention.
But why are you doing it?
Is dancing a crime? Is going out with other people a crime?
No, it's not.
It is the boundary and the level of the trust that you have input on me. And we have consistently said in this show today that even the people who are closer can be more damaging to you than the people who are far. But now, when the time comes and the long distance becomes short and you're together, there are other things that you also need to start avoiding. You cannot be very far, and even when you're near, you are far. You have come to spend time with me, but you're also looking at the list of the people that you have to meet. I have to meet my boys, I have to meet my girls, I have to meet a chama, I have to...
Within the 2 weeks you are around,
2 weeks only, and you're only meeting one day.
No,
namwambia, you need to understand me. Understand my key. Yeah?
We are sorry. Kama you have a history. Anyway. Kuna kitu amesema about communication, and I felt like it's important we emphasize on the fact that even this communication has to be organic, QT. Sindio? It's very hard to communicate na mtu just for the sake. Ati imefika saa 8 na tuliagiri we have to communicate at 2 every day. Sindio? I mean, sometimes
it's true.
How do you cultivate a culture whereby I'm itching to talk to this person, and then it's a 1 hour break and they want us to talk for that 1 hour, and I have actually a lot of content for that 1 hour, not because we have to talk for 1 hour, but because I actually want to spend time. Kwa sababu most of these long distance relationships naeza agree na Ken kidogo, hata hizo communication ni cosmetic.
Na ndio nakwambia
just because tunafaa kuongea saa 8
hamna content,
hata hamna kitu ya kusema. And let me tell you, that's a very valid and a very good question, because it even comes up in that relationship of like sometimes you don't have anything to say. You understand, and they're on a break. Then don't say it. Then don't even talk. Hata akiwa hiyo break ya 1 hour, if you really have nothing to say, sometimes you can just call and say, hey, I just wanted to say I love you and have a good day. Imagine something as simple as that is enough, because history ya kusemanga, and that comes with maturity. It comes with time. Wacha nikwambie, of course mkianza long distance kuna kuangana hizo uncertainties guy. Sasa itawaka. Sasa tutakuwa tunaongeaje? Utapata footing. Unaona kama ukikujanga job unajuanga saizi Safin ushakuwa pro, unajuanga lazima nifike job at a certain time, nipakwe makeup, nikwe ready for nini. So hizo vitu zote, but huwezi compare venye ulianza na saizi ushakuwa expert. So it also comes with time and maturity, because kuza kwanza mtakuwa mnataka kushinda kwa phone the whole time. Hadi we mwenyewe unapata I don't even have time for myself to actually do everything. But with time, as you mature in this relationship, mnakujaga mna understand, by the way, hatu need kushinda kwa simu all the time. Hatu need kushinda tukiongea ati juu sasa uko wako ka break ka 30 minutes ama ka 1 hour.
Unataka kuenda na kuuliza unaenda
wapi? wapi, unaenda kufanya nini, unaacha kukua hiyo.
Kwani nimekubo?
Kwani nimekubo, kwani unifeel, kwani unipendi siku hizi. So with time, inakujaga tu understand, you can actually just call someone and say, hey, I love you, I just wanted to see you and wish you a good day. Na ukate simu na ukijua umse ako break yake, but pia ana need time yake. Ana need hiyo silence. Maybe kuna emails alikuwa na need ku reply. Maybe kuna text messages. You're not the only person he or she is texting. Ana need kuongea na mother yake, ana need kuongea na siblings wake, ana need kuongea na watu wengine. So sometimes mtu kuaga selfish maybe when it's starting, but at some point you need to come and mature and understand, by the way, this person needs to do other things. Na need kwenda gym, QT ana need kwenda gym, QT ana need kufanya training, QT ana need ku prep for the show, because saizi nikitoka hapa I have an hour to prep for the show. QT ana need kwenda walk yake, ana need ku get 10k steps zake, atazitoa wapi tukishinda kwa simu tukiongea. QT ana need kwenda ku get, yani silence. Unaona hiyo kitu nimekuambia? Manze, sometimes una need gitu hiyo silence. So it comes with time and you mature in a relationship. Unaona mkianzana, it's okay to have all those uncertainties. It's okay to feel like, guy, kwani itakuaje? But with time, cheki, mtenda tu mkilearn pole pole. Relationships are a learning curve.
Watu uko sana kwa long distance.
Hey, my friend, ati, wacha nikuambie, ndio maana nimekuambia kuna kitu unaweza sema kwa text, mtu wa misunderstand that text. You see, texting and talking, those are two totally different things. Your tone in a text can be something different with your tone when you're saying something. Ama unaweza kuongelesha mtu ukweni kama una shout, but you're not shouting, you just like need them, una feel msiani understand. Na it's okay, imagine it's okay. Hata Safin sasa inaweza kuambia kitu misunderstand, right? So unaweza ambia mtu kitu afeel nika una shout, na how shout, you're just talking to them. So sometimes ndio venye nimesema, you mature in relationships, it's a learning curve, and it's okay to feel all those uncertainties and all the negative things you're feeling. It's okay, and mtu wako anafaa kukaa hapo akuashua kwamba it's okay baby, it's okay to get mad, it's okay to misunderstand, it's okay, I am here, check it, I'm just here, it's okay. Una understand?
What I feel. Silent treatment. Okay, anyway, that's a topic for another day. I'm told you need to wind up, so I'll give you a chance to wind up. Just 3 principles that could make long distance relationships work from all of you. Let's start with you, Ken.
First, I will say conquer your jealousy. Yeah, just conquer your jealousy and understand when somebody has committed to you, don't give them reasons to rethink their decision. If I have said I will love you and I will commit to you however far you are, I will do that. Number 2, build trust. Yeah. Don't come to a relationship with the mistrust of the previous one that you have been there, and make communication the key tone. That can we talk to each other and discuss even the challenges that you're going through.
Bata?
I'd like, Saki could repeat, but I'd like to say that love sometimes is embarrassing. Love is cringy. Love is weird. Love is, it doesn't have to make sense to anyone else except you. So if it's perfect for you and if it fits and it makes sense for you, that's all. Mambo za kujajwa tu, kucheka, long distance yako. Everyone is different, so go for what you want. Know yourself and then go exactly for what you want. And wachana na vitu si zako. Focus on yourself.
Yeah. Now, by them, true love sometimes haupangi.
It's true, upangangi by the way.
Cutie.
Be sure about what you want in life, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a career, whatever it is, just be sure that you want that. And if you're not sure, kama utaki wachana nayo, kama unataka ingia with the hope that it's going to work. Be very intentional about everything that you do. Long distance siya kila mtu, na pia short distance siya kila mtu.
Exactly.
So just choose what is good for you, and make it work.
Make it work. That's like the perfect way to end it. Make it work. Sometimes it's not even about the distance, the money, the what. Ninyi wawili, do you really want this thing? And what is it that you're willing to sacrifice to make it work? It will not matter whether ako na pesa ama hana. It will not matter kama ako Kenya ama ako wapi. It will not matter kama ni mtu mwenye ako na character ama hana character. What is it that you're bringing on the table in terms of wewe mwenyewe na Kenya unataka out of this relationship? So hizo vitu zingine nina an issue. Thank you so much for watching, and as we wind up, long distance relationships can actually work if you want and if you make them work. That's how we wind up. Thank you so much. Enjoy the rest of your day. Enjoy the rest of your viewing. My name is Safina Chengoma. Have a lovely day ahead.